Also, I forgot to mention, with my defense, my laptop gave me the blue screen of death, like, right as I started. Hey y'all, welcome back to another day of Vlogmas. This time we're going to be doing a get ready with me because I haven't done one of those yet. This is kind of just my yearly catch up. As y'all have already seen, I vlogged a bit last summer, so y'all had seen me go out on adventures and work on writing, but like the big elephant in the room, I'm now a doctor. I'm now Dr. Obi. I have my PhD. Well, theoretically, the degree is not conferred until May, and there's edits I have to do to my dissertation, but I survived it, so that's kind of crazy. Okay, I need to get some of my makeup out. This is the first time I've done my makeup. I mean, I did my makeup when I went to the Shakers Village back in November, but I haven't really done makeup since, just due to how life has been going. So, and I've got about 20 minutes before I need to head out, and honestly, I want to finish before that so I can actually make myself lunch instead of buying, because I've been spending way too much money. It's not good. I defended my dissertation on November 14th. I'd actually at one point wanted it to be November 12th because for personal reasons that was actually my late grandmother's birthday, so I was kind of almost hoping that I could defend on her birthday and have a little bit of extra there, especially since when I did my GRE, I actually did my GRE on the anniversary of her death, and also which happened to be my late aunt's birthday. I know it's a really rough day in the family, but I joke that it's because of them I did really well on my dissertation, on my GRE, so I kind of wanted that extra little boost, but I did really well. I had to actually turn in my dissertation 2 weeks before I defended, which happened to be Halloween actually. And that was stressful because I just kept on, like, when I was writing, I'd find new and more things to add to it. Because a lot of the things I'm like, yeah, they end up being null results, but so often with high entropy alloys, you have to look at anything and everything to figure out how do we quantify this work? How do we describe this local environment? Which actually did kind of annoy one of the professors in my committee, but I was like, this is how it works, so just leave it be. But yeah, so that was... I turned it all in. There's a lot of typos because with Overleaf, it only sometimes shows you typos, which was great. And does not help that I'm very, very dyslexic. That was a good one. And with my defense, I was able to actually have a lot of family there. It was my, my parents, my mother flew in, or both parents flew in a couple of days beforehand. They got it in, I defended on Thursday, they got in Monday night. Then, sorry, just thinking about all of that. But yeah, they flew in Monday night, and my mom was able to come and help take care of me on Tuesday. That's something that she was doing throughout my writing process, finding the makeup, that she would come in and help me, which I just am so grateful for. Honestly, I think empty nesting really hit her hard, so... Also, I'm using a new palette. I got the Feel 'Em Bubbly from ColourPop as a little treat to myself because I can't help but buy little treats for myself. So, but this seems like a good all-over palette because I haven't used my makeup a lot, and so I'm gonna have to probably honestly throw away a lot, which I hate doing, but most of the palettes I own are from when I was in undergrad, and that was 4 years ago now. So, yeah, but I got to hang out, like, my mom came, helped take care of my house, like, that Tuesday before my defense. She also actually had come in 2 other times to kind of keep me on track. Beforehand, she came in September to help me initially as I was, like, starting to ramp up on my writing, and then she came in early October. So she actually drove with me back from Pittsburgh because I was in Pittsburgh for a conference, and then she ended up staying and helping me write a little bit more. I mean, she didn't write, but she helped to kind of take care of the household because I just was so exhausted. Since also this semester, I've been teaching, like I've been talking about it a bit, having to go to class and everything. And yeah, I have ended up being an instructor for the one of the intro to materials classes. So it's kind of been like a in between of being a professor and being a TA, because I end up deferring pretty much everything to the actual like instructor. But like I end up grading, I help them, I don't give them any like hints on their labs because some of it's like a mystery on it. But yeah, a lot of grading. I did like 2 lectures. We were supposed to kind of have a third one about like grad school, but apparently he decided not to do that one. And I'm like, is it because like I looked so rough that you're like, ooh, we're not gonna do that for the students? I've been doing a lot. Like I still have been working on writing more, and like also I was not traveling nearly as much as I had been last year, but I still, up until June, about once a month I was leaving the state for something. I think the only month I wasn't out of state at some point was February, but February is a small month, so even though it was a leap year, that's the only one I didn't do. But it was things like, okay, January, I had been gone for part of the holiday season, and then I proceeded to have my mother come into town, mostly because we were like, hey, we used my birthday as an excuse since my birthday is late January, but the big thing is we were wanting her to go through some of the, like storage unit, because we have a storage unit from when my grandfather passed, and we're like, why don't you come for Obi's birthday, and then you can go through some of that storage unit too. She didn't do nearly as much, but yeah, she was here, and because my mom has degenerative eye disease that I may or may not end up developing, should not be driving a lot, so I was the one driving her, plus like I live in Lexington, so I know the roads better. So that was January for me. Then February, like I said, was kind of a quiet month because I ended up like just having to get work done and get ready for a conference, because halfway through February I got an email being like, hey, how would you like to have your poster bumped up to a talk for TMS? And I was like, sure, because what happened was I'd initially proposed it as a talk, then I got bumped down to a poster, which I was totally fine with, and then suddenly it got bumped back up to a talk. So I had to quickly run and do all of that while also focusing on the big talk that I had. So that was crazy. And both of them were really well attended, because I went to TMS, which was in Orlando, Florida. First time I'd ever been to Florida. And yeah, that was a fun one to go. That was also humorous because I was the only person from my research group there. My advisor did end up coming about, like he was there for 2 days. I think he decided to come when I was like, oh, Obi is going to be doing 2 presentations and she's struggling, so why not I be there? And then the former graduate student, who now is doing her postdoc in England, she was also there. With that conference, I had a lot of fun. I joke, again, I was adopted by one of the other research groups that's the professor I work with. Also, if you're wondering what shades I've been using, I was using Bubble Up for all over the crease, and Clink Clink kind of as the deepening shade. And I think I'm going to use Zesty, which is this one right here all over my eye. It's a nice little gold reflect. This is gonna be fun to do the color correction later, but oh well. But yeah, so I ended up effectively being adopted by the one group, but just me. And actually with the talk that got bumped up from a poster, I finished that presentation about an hour beforehand, and apparently that was one of my better presentations. Because it turns out I do really well presenting under massive amount of stress. Like I can just kind of go with the flow, which is great to hear. I mean, I had a similar event happen really with my defense, because I'd never done a full run through in front of my advisor before I actually defended. But it worked out well. I figured out where to change things up, because my dissertation was 228 pages. I mean, a good chunk of that was like citations and things, but still, that was a huge paper. That's just some of the stuff I was doing. I mean, also in April I went down to New Orleans for my sister's baby shower. And what was crazy with that is I literally was just gotten off the plane, and then I get a text from one of my sister's friends being like, as we're trying to schedule the baby shower. So mildly, with that whole situation, my sister was like, don't mention the fact that you've been traveling so much to the friend, because that's like, oh, she's had it worse. And then when I actually was talking with the friend, she's like, oh my gosh, because when I was describing how much traveling I'd been doing, she's like, oh, that's rough. So I was like, see, I'm just in as bad of a shape. So I'm gonna pause for a bit because I need to do my eyeliner. Now onto the mascara. So yeah, no, I did not do a crazy line for my mascara, no wings or anything, just kind of deepening up the eye a bit. Because I don't want to do a lot. I just want to get back into the swing of doing my makeup, honestly, because it's fun. And I just haven't, I think I did my makeup like the first week of classes and that was it. So now I just need to get my face on, which is not going to be that hard. Okay, so while I was wetting the brush, I also ended up just adding a few extra lights. I hope this doesn't look too off. I am doing just a very light amount of foundation. At least I hope it'll look like a very light thing of foundation once I actually blend it fully out. Also, I have made sure I'm wearing my sunscreen again. I've been better since I've not had anything kind of weighing me down. I've been able to focus a little bit more on me, which is good. Also, if y'all are wondering, I was at least able to follow through on one of my New Year's resolutions. I got 6 dates. 3 of them were actually with the same guy. It was one of the med students I mentioned in a previous video. We went out a couple of times, but then it kind of just fizzled out, which I was okay with. He was a nice person, but there was no like future, because right now I'm not looking for a future. Or really, once I figure out what my next steps are, then yeah, I'm interested in figuring out my future in terms of relationships. Because I'd like to wake up next to somebody that I am, like, in the morning all cutesy and everything, but the only people I wake up next to are people I share mitochondrial DNA with. I share a bed both with my mom, one of my siblings, and actually a cousin of mine whose mother is my mother's sister. So yeah, that was, so like I said, I went to the baby shower. May, I actually went up to Minnesota to visit a friend who, she lives out in Alabama, but Minnesota was easier for us to get to because trying to drive to meet each other, that was going to be hard. Flying to Minnesota, heck of a lot easier. So we ended up going to Minnesota, catching up with friends, and it felt right. Then in June, actually was in New Orleans when my sister gave birth. So I was able to help her, and mostly my role was taking care of the dog. Actually, it was a fun little trip to do. And got to see my little nibbling. I got to be there to help, and I, being the youngest, and like my mom was very much parentified as a kid, so she kind of kept all of us generally away from babies. I think, as my sister put it, the last time she'd had to deal with a baby really, besides her own child, was when I was a baby, and that was very small things, like the occasional, my mom would run to the shop. So maybe at most my mom would be gone for like 30 minutes. Most of the time, like growing up, if there was things going on, I would end up getting a babysitter. There was minimal parentification going on, per my mom really attempting that. Yeah, that was one that was like, oh, yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm figuring out better ways of doing this blush. Because I do like it, and it's a nice color on me, but I'm gonna have to look away and see based off of some lighting stuff. Let me just fix that right now. I think that should be good. Okay, yeah, I liked that blush, and I'm just gonna do, that was all I was really gonna do. I did not feel like doing highlighter today, or actually, let me see, because right now I just have my travel case in front of me because it's a lot easier to use the travel case than anything else, because that would be the one place that I'd maybe have. Nope. I do not. Oh, yes, I do. I actually do have my highlight. I thought I did, because I was like, I could have sworn I had it from when I went to the Indianapolis Children's Museum, which was my trip in August. Was me and I went to the Children's Museum to have fun, hang out. It's Indianapolis is like a middle ground for the two of us, so it's very funny. Like, it was fun for us to go. She was actually able to also meet some cousins of mine who live in Indy, so I was able to catch up with them, and then also, like, briefly, and then go have fun at the Children's Museum, which highly recommend. If you guys can go to it. And that's one of those things where I cannot wait for my nibbling to be a little bit older, for me to be able to take them to, like, zoos and parks and just get to go and do fun things with them. Like, I cannot wait for them to just be a little bit older and do all these activities. Like, that's the stuff I'm really looking forward to, because my nibbling, adorable. Like, they're at the cutest phase ever right now, but I am more excited for that, for when I can just watch them get so excited. Just gonna, oh, I forgot, I need to put on a little bit of powder just to make sure, because it's gonna be warmer today, in the 50s, compared to last Thursday when it was almost like in the teens. God, that was painful, as y'all saw. So yeah, and now just the lipstick, which my lips have been so chapped recently, but I'm just doing the NYX Smooth Whip, so hopefully that won't be too bad. Let's go. So I know it's been all over the place, but I'm just talking about my life. Also, I forgot to mention, with my defense, my laptop gave me the blue screen of death, like, right as I started, which was definitely nerve-wracking. But I survived it, and like I said, I'm a doctor now, and I survived the questioning too, which was my biggest concern. But I had a feeling I knew who was going to be the hard ones on my questioning, and I was right. So yeah, I can talk more about my defense if y'all want. Overall, thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!